Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Crime in Court. Welcome to my stream. I have another update on Alex Murdaugh and the saga that surrounds him. So most recently, SLED, well, there's a lot that's been going on this week, so I'm going to have a couple Murdaugh videos actually, but for this particular video we're going to talk about SLED's SLED confirming that they have opened a new probe into Becky Hill regarding misconduct. So I'll let Drew Tripp from ABC News 4 tell you more about this in detail. All right, so state police in South Carolina say they are investigating the possibility of Becky Hill, Colleton County's elected clerk of court, may have abused her government position for financial gain. The State Law Enforcement Division confirms that is one of two criminal probes agency detectives have opened involving Becky Hill, SLED spokesman Renee Wunderlich said Tuesday. SLED's inquiry focusing on Hill's possible use of her elected office for improper personal benefit has not been previously acknowledged by state police. SLED's other open investigation into Hill's concerns her reported interactions with the jury in the infamous Alex Murdaugh murder trial. That investigation has been previously confirmed and reported, so now they're confirming a second. SLED has confirmed a second probe into Becky Hill. So Hill garnered modest public fame through her front and center role as court administrator during the Murdaugh murder trial, which included reading the jury's guilty verdict as audiences watched live on television and internet streams internationally. Hill went on to do several media interviews, appeared in documentaries about the Murdaugh saga, and hastily wrote and self-published a memoir about her involvement in the trial. But her quasi-fame has been followed by a firestorm of scrutiny through the latter half of 2023 into 2024. It began quietly in June when a concerned person filed an ethics complaint against Hill with the SC State Ethics Commission, the South Carolina State Ethics Commission. The complaint accuses Hill of self-serving behavior during and after the Murdaugh trial, saying she quote, utilized her authority, the Colleton County Courthouse, and taxpayers' money outside the scope of routine court business, end quote, to benefit herself financially. So some specific allegations included in the complaint against Hill were that she used her political office to obtain and release confidential information and materials. She used her office to promote her book and the book written by another journalist. She neglected her duties and office to promote her book. She misappropriated funds. She used the county courthouse to engage in commerce. SLED is acknowledging its agents are investigating Hill for possible self-enrichment at the expense of Colleton County taxpayers, which represents a significant escalation into the severity of outcomes for the clerk of court. So things have definitely gotten a little bit worse for Becky here. Potential ramifications for Hill now rise from ethics fines to include potential criminal charges, suspension from office, and even removal from office by Governor Henry McMaster, should she be convicted. So at this point, these are all just allegations. She has not been convicted or indicted of anything. So we still must take these all as allegations. At the time of this publication, on January 9th, 2024, Hill has not been charged with any crime and remains in office. She has repeatedly denied wrongdoing despite the barrage of assaults on her character and integrity. Confirmation of the second investigation into Hill's actions comes just weeks before Alex Murdaugh is set to receive an evidentiary hearing to determine if he's entitled to a retrial in the state's murder case against him. The retrial hearing stems from accusations by a small contingent of Murdaugh trial jurors and alternates who told Murdaugh lawyers post-trial that Hill deliberately tried to sway them into finding Murdaugh guilty. 3 of the 4 jurors Murdaugh's lawyers spoke to said that Hill made comments to them during trial urging them to be suspicious of Murdaugh and not to be fooled, misled, or distracted by things he said or his attorneys brought up. One juror specifically provided an affidavit to Murdaugh's defense lawyer saying that Hill even coached them to pay special attention during Murdaugh's testimony to his behaviors and his movements, which is a huge no-no. You cannot do that. You can't try to bias or prejudice the jury in some form by telling them things like that, not to be fooled or misled by the defendant when they're on the stand. So this is also notable because Murdaugh's tics and body language were a noted focus of lead state prosecutor Creighton Waters as he cross-examined Murdaugh, and he later brought it up in his final arguments to the jury. He made a big point of it. So as such, state prosecutors have attempted in court filings to explain away Juror 630's accusations of Hill jury tampering as misremembered comments actually made by Waters. So they're trying to push it off as, oh, Hill never said those things, but it was something that prosecutor Creighton Waters said, and you're just attributing it to Miss Hill for some reason. So 2 other jurors interviewed by SLED in response to the defense's jury tampering claims also reported Hill saying something to them about body language according to state prosecutors' own court filings. So multiple people have said now that multiple jurors have said that they heard something from Miss Hill regarding watching his body language or watching him on the stand. However, 8 other jurors interviewed by SLED said that they did not recall Hill making any such commentary. The evidentiary hearing on Murdaugh's request for a retrial is scheduled for January 29th to January 31st. It has been moved out of Colleton County to Richland County as a means of avoiding conflict of interest since Hill is accused of tampering with the jury and likely will be called as a witness. While all of this is happening, Hill's son, former Colleton County Government Technology Director Jeffrey C. Hill, is also under indictment by state police on wiretapping charges. Sources with direct knowledge of the investigation into that case have told News 4 that evidence has shown Jeffrey Hill's spying is directly tied to attempts at gathering information about the ethics complaints against his mother and other internal county discussions, which he would then relay back to her. So he was finding out what everybody else knew about Becky's misconduct, we'll say, and jury tampering, and then he would go and report that back to Becky. So News 4 has since learned Becky Hill's cell phone line was conspicuously taken off the county's plan and released to her personal control soon after county officials alerted authorities of her son spying on their calls and emails. Additionally, News 4 source says that SLED obtained a warrant to seize Becky Hill's phone as part of the investigation into her son. She reportedly provided agents with a different phone than the one that she was originally given by the county. And I did talk about that in the last video that I did on Becky Hill on Murdaugh. So if you go, I'll link that to this to the description here and of this video, and then you can go and look at that if you missed it. Otherwise, this is kind of a repeat of what we already talked about. But the fact that she has a new investigation into her misconduct, that's new from SLED. So we will see if anything comes of that. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think that Miss Becky behaved inappropriately? Do you think she said something to the jurors, or do you think the jurors are making it up? Do you think this is just a scheme by Alex Murdaugh's defense team? Because that's been a rumor out there, or not a rumor, but alleged by Murdaugh haters, or people that don't really want him to see any sunshine again, which is fine. And he's probably never going to get out of prison again because of his financial crimes. But let me know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Should he serve more time? Do you think we should go through a new trial? Let me know. Have a good one. Thanks again. Bye.